Swang guys, this is SwaggerTurbo and welcome back to another iFR League race highlight. Obviously, this is the second race that I'm doing. First was in Austria. If you haven't seen the highlights of that, do check it out. Just a slight spoiler, I did win the race. It was crazy, but at the end of the day, somehow won the race. But yeah, now we are back to Silverstone. We were supposed to do this a week prior to Austria, but because of a few, issues here and there, couldn't really do it. So yeah, we back for a bit of Silverstone, and I am very, very excited to, go into this race because Silverstone is a track where I normally lose a lot of time through maggots and buckets. But over here, as you can see, 2 Steezy overtook me, which really, isn't allowed in, because we are both on an outlap. And in the rules, it states that, you can't overtake another person in Sector 3. But I didn't really, want to protest this because, these guys were pretty quick. They were on, wheel. But obviously, that doesn't mean I shouldn't protest it. But then we had a lot of space. It didn't really hamper my lap. So I was like, you know what? That's all right. And here's an onboard of the first ever lap that I set on Britain. And obviously, it's on strict corner cutting as well. So it was, in few places like maggots and buckets, I didn't really explore the track that much. I did try to keep it, on the track because I didn't want any disqualifications or actually basically get a penalty or invalidation of my lap times. So I did try to keep it on track and just go as fast as possible. I just want to again get a top 10 finish and like get a top 10 qualification basically because my race pace slightly better, as I said in the Austrian Grand Prix as well. It's slightly better than my quali pace. So yeah, we're gonna try and get a top 10. That's always gonna be my main goal. And if it's a dry circuit and a dry track the whole time around, I think I'll probably get somewhere around from 5th to 10th max. But yeah, the first lap is done. We set a 128.4, which actually isn't too bad, but isn't too good either. Because we are only 8th right now, and I know for a fact that we still have around 4 tenths in the car, and that could basically, promote us to maybe 5th or 6th. And I just wanted to try and go on a new set of tires. Obviously, you can't change the setup because of park firm, but yeah, it's like gained around 2 tenths through the first sector, which was pretty decent. But then we lost it on the exit of I think turn 4, that is. But yeah, it's like I could get used to the whole track. It was pretty, it's a very free flowing track, which I kind of like. It's just that, playing on a controller and going into maggots and buckets is pretty hard. But yeah, now coming to the main point, we are up by around 1.4 tenths over there. But then coming out of buckets, we actually had slightly, improved our time. But we're still improving by around a tenth at least. So not the best lap, but not the worst either. It was a pretty decent lap. And during quali, after I finished this, particular lap, I did go slightly wide, but I was pretty slow, so that was okay. We upped our best time by around 2 tenths, which is only good for 8th though. I was due for a last run as well, like on another set of tires, but unfortunately I couldn't because I didn't have time. I was just drinking water, and while getting into the pits it took me a bit longer than usual. So yeah, I couldn't set a fast, third lap on a new set of tires. But yeah, honestly speaking, 8th is pretty decent. As I said, I wanted a top 10 qualifying. We are 8th right now, which is perfect. I just need a good start and try to stay in front of, the carnage that mostly happens in, all the online races. But yeah, forming and coming up to the grid right now after the formation lap. I just wanted a replica of Austria where, I just stay away from all the danger and all the collisions and stuff. And let's see if, I'll be able to do that this race or not. Everyone has lined up. We are getting ready for the race. 5 red lights are turning on as we speak. It's lights out and away we go. We have a pretty okay start. A little bit of wheel spin, which is gonna, hamper my start. But then in front, Addy has a crazy crash. We have to slow down a bit. I love controller coming out of nowhere. We literally had a pincer kind of movement over here, which is unfortunate. But yeah, it's like he went off track, tried to come back on track. I touched his, tire wall, hit into, dangerous butt who was out, around the outside, and unfortunately we went into the wall. And obviously because of that, we have to, go pit. We didn't have a front wing, which is going to be super annoying during all these, maggots, buckets, and for some reason Massman was, driving very, very aggressively right off the gate go, and I think he also had a bit of damage. And as you can see, even Addy had a very, very poor start, and he had somewhat, exact same kind of move that I did. He tried to go through the middle, but then yeah, someone just came from the outside and sideswiped him as well, I guess. But he does has have his front wing still, and I don't. So this is going to be a huge problem for me through maggots and buckets. I'm going to lose a lot of time. But this is what the whole point of league racing is. Sometimes you get into trouble. Sometimes you just keep your nose clean. Last time around in Austria, I just kept my nose clean, and that's like the main reason why I was able to win the whole race. I didn't really expect to win my first ever race, but then because of a lot of factors, even like the rain helped a lot. But this British Grand Prix was gonna be completely dry, and yeah, we had to pit after round literally lap one, and then it's mostly gonna be just me trying to catch up on hards, and you lose so much time in the pits because it's like a 60 km per hour limiter in Britain Grand Prix Silverstone. And yeah, it was just annoying as hell. It's so long. We have to wait, we have to go so slowly through this, get out of the pits. And as you can see on, the bottom left, the map, those guys have already, just going into sector 2. They've already reached sector 2. That's how far back we are right now. And that's how much, ground we have to gain back up again. So the people who did get affected by, like the first lap carnage were Adi, who didn't really have front wing damage, lucky for him. It was Ian, Samurai Dog, and I don't know, I don't really remember the last guy. We had like four of us who went out, but yeah, it was pretty annoying. And yeah, it's like these kind of things happen in a league race. I had to try and stay out. I did my best, but yeah, just got pinched a bit. And unfortunately, now we have to try head down and try and get some more positions if we can. But yeah, skipping to lap 15 already. We literally had a pretty dead race, not gonna lie. Got a 3-second penalty for, just in maggots and buckets, pretty much. I was expecting this to happen anyway because the strict corner cutting and maggots and buckets on a controller is super hard. But yeah, somehow we're still alive. But yeah, catching up to I Love Controller, everyone has, gone through the pit stop phase, and we have a safety car. Dr. Dre is out of the session. No idea what happened. We went to a virtual safety car and a full course safety car. This is literally the only thing I needed. If this happened like 10 seconds ago, I could have literally pit and would have been the perfect time to pit. But luckily, the people who are behind us, like the people who were racing pretty much, like Deep Sea, Dangerous Bot, and I think even like Samurai Doge, and all those people were also not able to get into the pits. So this is actually perfect for us because if the people who we are fighting with are not getting a free pit stop, it's actually pretty decent because as you can see top left, I Love Controller, the person who we had, contact with at the start of the race. He has a drive-through penalty, and I think that's mainly because of, overspeeding in the safety car period. But yeah, we still have a chance of at least getting a little bit of points, if not a lot. It's like we're still outside the top 10. It was a long race. It's like literally the 16 laps that I did till now were just me setting, faster and faster laps. It's like I was super slow at start, but then yeah, slowly was able to get a few, tens here and there to the guy in front, and it was pretty decent. But yeah, now let's swap to the end of the safety car period where all the carnage happened. So as you can see, we are towards, safety car is coming in this lap, and it literally took like 3 laps for, everything to settle down and the safety car to come in. But we are 11th right now, literally smelling points, literally behind Ian right now, who is a pretty fast driver. And for some reason, I Love Controller tries to go down the inside, No idea what's going on here. Literally zero clue. Everyone is going everywhere. They're taking, overtaking before the safety car. And Addy and Ian have a slight bit of contact. And somehow we are in 10th. We're back into points after a horrible start. A horrible, I was literally like ready to just retire from the whole race. And somehow we have a chance of getting some points now. And all I have to focus now is to try and keep it clean, not get any more penalties because we already have 3 seconds of penalties. So the people next to us have like 15 seconds and 6 seconds behind us. So all we gotta do is try and stay on track, keep the car on track, not make a mistake. And I think the people in front of Mamba have mediums, if I'm not wrong. So we should have better traction coming out of corners. And there are, I think, two of them don't really have are not there in the game because they are ghosted right now, and Casual is a back marker, so we should be able to just ghost through him, thankfully. Go slightly wide, but that was still inside the bounds, so we don't get a penalty there. Even Sedulous over here, unfortunately, you know he had a power cut, and yeah, his AI was driving, losing a lot of places. He was having a very good race, till this point. But yeah, last 6 laps, we are up to ninth. Literally from 19th to ninth in around 20 laps. It was pretty bad. And to add to our misery, I went wide and got us a 3 second penalty. And look at this move over here. We had a desync or some kind of lag going on here because on my screen, Adi literally lagged, went into the back of Mamba, and just spun. And for him, on his screen, I apparently hit him from the back, which was super weird because, he did type it in the protest that I ruined his race. I didn't really understand how. But then I went back and looked at this, exact replay and realized because of desync, we both had contact and he just spun because of that. It's like because the host is from India and there are a lot of people who are from outside of India as well, including Adi. And yeah, unfortunately, the lag kicked in. I'm really sorry about that, but I don't really think it's completely my fault because I was trying to slow it down. I did slow it down quite a bit, but yeah, unfortunately had the damage. I didn't really have damage on the front wing as well. That's the reason I was like, not expecting, I hit Addy because there was zero damage on my wing. And even though it's not reduced, with that kind of contact, if I did have contact with without lag, I should have 100% had, yellow front wing, whereas I didn't really have any damage. And I was just able to, continue with my race, whereas, obviously Adi just, fell to the back of the pack, and yeah, that was pretty much GG for him. Whereas we still have a chance right now because the people in front, both the AlphaTauri and the Williams have a 15-second and a 9-second penalty respectively, which is crazy because my god, it's like we have a 6 second penalty. Sedulous behind us has a 5 second penalty, but I am pretty sure he's DC'd from the game. And we even have Ian behind us 6 seconds back, and he still could be in this race because he's a super quick, racer. And all I want to try and do right now is at least just at least get a top 10 because we have worked so hard. We've literally been alone half of this race, and all I want to do is try and get a few mere points. Coming up to Maggots and Beckets now, we have a slightly better exit than Dangerous, going into the Hanger Straight and even have DRS. This is our only chance of trying to, overtake Dangerous, and who is on mediums as well. So we should have, the upper hand. Going side by side, and we have slight contact. That's pretty unfortunate because I tried to give him as much space as possible. But yeah, we just, kept turning in here and there. Didn't really, like that turn. So I did, have to drink water, so I had to press escape. But I did give the position back to Dangerous because I felt that's not the, cleanest way of overtaking right there. So yeah, we're back now. We're gonna try and overtake Dangerous again over here on maybe the Hanger Straight yet again with the help of a bit of DRS. But yeah, coming up to Maggots and Beckets right now, we had a much better grip than Dangerous because of, the softs compared to the mediums. As you can see, we have already caught up so much on Dangerous, and with just DRS and usage of slight bit of ERS, I'm not even using that much, but going down the inside, we do get the move done. We have a lot of overspeed. we can just keep the position over here, and let's try and catch up to the guys in front, which includes Jonah, my teammate, who's been super consistent and driving very well throughout this race. And we even have the Williams in front, who has a 15-second penalty. So we pretty much have eighth in the bag right now. Ian behind us, though, is on the charge. He's catching us up lap by lap, sector by sector, literally getting like a second away per lap, which is crazy. I did go slightly off here, but because I was slow, thankfully did not get a warning, because we still have, three warnings left for our next penalty. And we are super close getting into the last lap as well right now. We are behind Samurai, and I need to try and catch up, by the end of at least Magnussen Beckett's going into Hanger Straight, so that I have a chance of at least closing in. But yeah, these guys are having an amazing battle in front as well. And I'll leave the link to the stream that, Beaver did, because it was crazy. And, the top four were just, battling it out for first. And it was actually super, interesting to just watch, because they were just trading positions left, right, and center. And it was actually so good to watch. But yeah, focusing on our race right now, we have to catch up at least slightly over here. We do have extra bit of grip. We do catch up to Samurai. We're gonna try and overtake him down the hanger straight if we can. We have used quite a lot of ERS, and what is this? Mamba is going super slow. That gives us an extra position. And thank you, Mamba, for underfueling and just not managing your fuel. But yeah, we have 8th in the bag right now, and maybe even a 7th, because Samurai in front has a 15-second penalty, and Ian is literally right behind us. He only has a 3-second penalty, so he will probably overtake us at the end of this race. So where do we end up? We actually ended up 8th. We still ended up 8th, which is actually amazing. Honestly, I didn't really expect to be even close to the points. After that crazy, start with the front wing damage and yeah, going onto hards right off the get-go, it was pretty bad, but at least we got 8th. And don't forget to go in the description and check out the link of the stream and check out at least the last 6 laps, because oh my god, the top four were just trading positions left, right, and center. It was super good, and that is what racing is all about. They were like super close to each other, had amazing pace, and yeah, congrats to Redefined on winning the Silverstone Grand Prix. Vihan and Sadi as well were super close. Was an amazing race, at least from their perspective. We had a pretty, iffy and pretty bad race, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Deep Sea actually got the driver of the day as well, which is crazy because that it's literally his first race of the league. And yeah, he did get driver of the day, which is pretty decent. And yeah, Redefined, honestly, well earned podium, well earned win. He did, he didn't set a single foot wrong and had an amazing strategy as well. Race till the end, and what an amazing race it was for these lot. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick highlight. And if you want to see more of these kind of highlight videos of league racing, make sure to subscribe with the notifications on. And this is SwaggerTurbo signing off. Goodbye and peace.